Greetings, my name is Juan and I'm going to present my research about the COVID-19 effects on the US labor market. We know for a fact that the unemployment rate, not only in the United States but pretty much all over the world, had a severe increase this year. But is it related to the COVID-19 pandemic lockdown or to a lack of job openings caused by the recession, or due to some other hidden factor? In the next 15 minutes, I will share with you some surprising results and findings. We have a long agenda to cover, but unfortunately, not a lot of time. So I'm going to present some of the items briefly and put more time on my findings and conclusions. Starting with the problem statement, the ongoing COVID-19 recession is, as we know, already one of the major global economic crises that modern society has faced, causing, let's say, abnormally high and rapid increases on unemployment rates in many countries. The lack of perspective about market heat has also caused a sharp drop on the hiring numbers, with job opportunities dispute becoming more competitive. The proposal for this project is to implement a monitoring application able to combine data from US labor market and healthcare datasets. The goal is to present a meaningful relationship between COVID-19 cases, unemployment, and job opening rates that can be used for statistical analysis and forecasts. One of the main motivations for this research is the disturbing possibility that the current unemployment versus hiring scenario in the United States can lead to an inability to provide state-funded unemployment insurance to the people who are in layoff. Let's now bring some quantitative data to support those motivational factors. In 3 months of COVID-19, the number of unemployed in the United States increased by more than 14 million, from 6.2 million in February to 20.5 million in May 2020. Just to compare, during the Great Recession period, the unemployed number increased by around 9 million from 2008 to 2009. As you can see in the graph, unemployment rate had a sharp increase, jumping this year from 4% in February to more than 14% in April. My target questions: how COVID-19 is affecting different groups of employees, affecting different segments of employers, and how it can be related to unemployment rate and hiring numbers. The background analysis of each of those key aspects provided me numbers to evaluate my assumptions. The current information about those aspects is very comprehensive when it comes to each one of them, but there is no direct link or clear correlation among them. These are some of the related works I reference in my literature review. Cautious research demonstrates how COVID-19 recession is affecting unemployment rates among different groups of workers. Particular's research brings insight about the economic impact of COVID-19 on business. Hauser provided me important information about the current status of unemployment insurance claims in the United States. In terms of approach, my research has a quantitative focus, and my data analytics approach was based on the implementation of data wrangling and data preprocessing concepts. To design my approach, I implemented a methodology with a set of methods that allow me to respond efficiently to all different kinds of common issues that I can anticipate from the process of extracting data from different data sources. The monitoring system created to support my research was implemented in R Markdown, which allows me to easily create dynamic output formats such as HTML. My app is a web-based application and gives me flexibility to include chunks of code with different languages such as R and Python, both used on my data analytic processes. For more details about the technology used in the implementation, I provided a demo of the app in this presentation, sharing details of the source code and app interface. For my data collection, these are my data needs. Data about COVID-19. I needed number of cases, segmented by location, which is US states, and time, at least monthly figures. Data about unemployment. I needed official monthly rate by US states. And for data about hiring, I needed job openings rate, segmented by location and time. The data related to COVID-19 is extracted from Johns Hopkins University Center and Medicine database, and the data related to labor market is extracted from US Bureau of Labor Statistics database. The analysis process starts with the stratification of the data and passes to quality assessment based on KPIs before the data visualization. And here you can see some screenshots of the system to represent the data visualization. And finally, we reach the research analysis. Here I'm going to evaluate two hypotheses. First, the increase of COVID-19 cases is directly proportional to the US unemployment rate. Second, the increase of COVID-19 cases is inversely proportional to the US job openings rate. To perform my analysis, my strategy was based on identify the 5 US states that currently have the highest numbers of COVID cases and the 5 with the lowest numbers. Check the unemployment rates and job openings of those 10 states in September 2019 and September 2020, and calculate the gap or the proportional variation between those months specifically. Finally, I will compare the gaps of the states more affected by COVID with the gaps of the states less affected by COVID. So here are the results I have from my application. Here in A, I have the list of 5 states more affected by COVID, starting from Texas, following by California, Florida, Illinois, and New York. And here I have the group of the states least affected by COVID cases. Here I have a detailed screen providing me unemployment rate figures from each one of those 10 states on September 19 and September 20. And here I have the over the year change, which is the gap that I was mentioning in the previous slide. Basically this minus this. So these are the information related to unemployment. And here I have the same thing, but this unemployment rate, this is unemployment rates. And here the same thing about job opening rates. Increasing those figures, we have here again starting with unemployment, the rates and the gaps. And we can see here that for the top 5 states, we have an average gap of 5.78. This is the average of those 5 numbers here. And here for the bottom 5 states, the average gap is only 3.02. So basically, the analysis of the system's data demonstrated that the unemployment rate has increased accordingly with COVID-19 cases. We have a 2.76 higher average gap at the employment rate in the states that were more affected by COVID cases. Basically, the 2.76 is the difference from this average gap and this. Okay, so let's see now what the system data tell me about the job openings rate. So as we can see here, the over the year change it's not significantly. Basically, the figures of September 19 to and September 20 for all states are the same. Drilling down the information to more detail, we can see that in May 20 we had a sharp decrease of job openings rate. So this is when the pandemic struck with the lockdown and other preventive initiatives, which brings me to the conclusion that the analysis of the system's data demonstrated no significant gaps in job openings from September 19 to September 20, which may come as a surprise for many, including me. However, we have a sharp decrease of job openings when the pandemic struck. According to the data presented, hiring numbers seems to recover faster than unemployment numbers, since here we can see basically the same figures as here. So for the hypothesis, the first one was confirmed, the second one not entirely confirmed, as we can see that it was only a short-term impact. Unemployment rates and hiring numbers, job openings rates, were both severely impacted by COVID-19, with massive layoffs and a severe hire freezing when the pandemic struck. But while the number of job openings starts to increase again, the unemployment rate continues high. That indicates that many people lost their jobs, but only a small part of those were able to reintegrate the workforce. So, we can assume, based on the results of this research, together with the related works result, that we are experiencing a resultant shift in the workforce, with the emergent or younger and more educated professionals taking the jobs that used to belong to the previous workers. Also, a good portion of the people who lost their jobs are in layoff, claimed and are using the state-funded unemployment insurance benefit before seeking for jobs again. It is also reasonable to conclude that we might face volatile trends in the job growth for more time, So that justifies the importance of the monitoring application able to track this data. And here you can find a demo of the application and the application source code. It's available for public. I'm leaving here notes of my future work and also recommended work using the tool I'm providing, my key reference, and my contacts in case you have any questions or any comments about my research. Thank you so much for your attention and stay safe.